Hi everyone, in this video I'm talking about the leading of the Holy Spirit. It's gonna be fun, and it's even funnier that He is present while I'm recording, and I really love His presence. I really love Him being tangible here. Oh! Ooh, I really love it. If I think about it, I just get consumed by it. He's awesome. He's really awesome. The point is that you don't have to find the leading of God. You are in the middle of it. The reason why you haven't experienced it all the time or most of the time is that you thought you weren't in the will of God. And when you think you are not in it, you can't experience the consequences of believing you are in it. And I just ask the Holy Spirit to reveal this truth to you today, that you are the beloved of God. You are the lover of God. That God is a lover of you. So you are just followed by His goodness and mercy every day of your life, even in your messy days. The messier your day is, the more potential God's grace is to reveal that He is just pursuing you. Whew. God's leading is not always an appointed time and place, you know. Sometimes God tells you that you should be there at 7 o'clock and meet the guy with the blue t-shirt. And it's awesome if you get these things. And I'm sure that the more aware I become of His guiding, the more accurate information I can get from God. But His leading is not just information. Or maybe it sounds heretic, but mostly not an information. God's leading is a state of your mind that you know you are in the middle of His guiding. Sometimes God doesn't want to give you an information. Especially if you start trying to walk in His leading. Because He doesn't want you to execute a project. He doesn't want you to do what He says. He wants you to want what He wants. This whole New Testament stuff is just about that. There was this Old Testament when there was the man and God was there and God was talking what to do, and the people did what He told them to do. But He had a better plan, that He lives inside of you and He is just Him all the time in you, all the time. His goodness and mercy follows you every day of your life. Not just when you feel full of the Holy Spirit, when you felt you spent enough time in His presence, but every day. Let me give you an example. It was just 3 years ago, 3 days ago, my whole morning till 1 p.m. just floated away, like with a nonsense thing. And it was really, really irritating. I like making best of my time. And I wanted to spend time with the Lord and do the stuffs and He called me to do, and I was just okay. I just travel home and finally do my stuff. And I sat down on the last seat on the bus, and I just couldn't wait getting home. And there was this girl falling on me. On this bus, and I couldn't wait getting out. And I saw that this girl is crying, and he's holding a paper. She's holding a paper in her hands, and I knew that she just got a bad report from the doctors, and she's devastated, and I knew it was the time to share God's love. And I had all these reasons why not to do that. But after a while, we just got out of the bus, we got out at the same stop, and we just sat down on the bank, on a bench, and we just prayed. The Holy Spirit was there, and she was just convinced to give her life to Jesus, and so God just happened. And it wasn't because I knew that when you are on the bus at noon on the last seat of the bus you will meet a girl. I could be that close to God to hear that, but he thought it's funnier if I just float with his stream and find myself at the right place at the right time with the right person. I think he finds it funny to let us just feel that we just float, we just got consumed by him, and sometimes we just realize that, oh, it was the will of God. The leading of the Holy Spirit is mostly not a time, not a place. The leading of the Holy Spirit is nothing else but the state of mind when you know you are in the leading of God. Not because you feel it, because you know it. There will be days just like this day, when you feel that you are so out of the will of God and you can't escape being in it. He just follows you. Sometimes I feel like he just builds his will around me. It sounds really heretic, but I like it. I'm the center of his world. And yes, this going with the stream thing requires giving out the control. Sometimes when we ask for the leading of God, we really ask for a point that we can manage. A manual that we can, go after. And he doesn't want us to do that. He wants us to flow with him. And once we learn flowing with him, he will give us very accurate things. But first he wants us to give up control. The voice of God is not an outside thing, as it was in the Old Testament, that an information outside, it's not like that. Sometimes it is, and it's cool, and I'm all about hearing God's voice audibly. but probably it won't happen every day of my life. Maybe it's the lack of my my awareness of his constant presence, but it doesn't work in my life now. Maybe it will, I hope so. But it's so great that I can just be aware of his leading, independent of the concept of the circumstances. So sometimes when you feel you are so out of his presence, you are so in it. When you find yourself with the inappropriate person at an inappropriate time, at an inappropriate place, you can just know that you were just so in God's will that it's ridiculous. And he loves doing this. Let me give you another example. I just quit all my programs and everything, and I will just be with God. I don't want to do a thing. And I was at home and someone on Facebook wrote me hi. What the message is that? Nothing else, just hi. I wrote back hi, and it turned out that there was a group of people from another town who watch my videos and who just want what I have, which is not much actually, but they were hungry for more. And do you have time to meet us? I know it's a bit pushy, but could we meet? Yeah, of course we can meet. I just have a free day. And I found myself in a coffee shop with 4 kids who just became aware that there is such a thing as the works of the Holy Spirit and the leading of him and the relationship with him. And I just shared all that I knew, which wasn't much, but they could profit much of it. And they just poured heaven out of me or through me, almost independently from me. It just happened. They were so hungry, and these guys now affect hundreds of young people, not because they met me, it's just not my result that they met me and now they are so successful. It just fun that God allowed me to be part of this, even if it was a little part. And I was traveling back home and I felt like I'm just in the middle of God's will. And not because I knew it, not because God revealed it to me, just because I gave up control and I let myself float with the will of God. And I believe that's what God is looking for. People who allow His stream to take away them. And yes, it requires dying. Sometimes, and most of the time, when you find yourself in the middle of the will of God, you feel like you are so out of it. Inappropriate things happen. And you feel very uncomfortable. One sign of being in the middle of the will of God is when you feel crazy uncomfortable. And then God leaves you in that place so that you can die for a moment. You can get devastated for a moment. Nothing will come out of it. God, just help me. That's the point. God will show up. He loves showing up when you reach the end of yourself. So if you don't feel like God's mercy and love is pursuing you all the days of your life, I'm here to tell you that He is doing it. It is happening. And I just ask the Holy Spirit to reveal this truth to you, that you are pursued by His goodness. And maybe He will lead you to the place shortly when you can get information. And I hope I will be at this place. Sometimes I get information from God, like what to do when, which is information, but mostly it's just like that. I feel like doing something. God is in me. He feels like to do things, which is His will. His will is not outside of me, but inside of me. And I just feel like stopping. And there are people who are way better in this going with the flow thing, and I really admire how they are led by the Holy Spirit. They just feel like stopping at places, and the kingdom is being poured out. And people get healed and get saved just because they felt like stopping. And it's awesome. We are the sons and daughters of God, which means we are in the leading of Him. We don't have to step into it. We don't have to find. When you feel like striving for something, like striving to know the will of God, God is crazy in love with your intention that you want what He wants, but it is not by striving. It's by just knowing that it's who you are. It's your very nature to be led by Him. You are His lover. You just walk together. You just meet every now and then. You just meet all the time, and over again. That's just your relationship with Him. It's just a consequence. You shouldn't make getting into His leading your goal, because you are in it. Your goal is just be with Him, and things just happen all around you because that's just who you are. You don't have to make yourself somehow hearing His voice. His voice is not a voice in most cases. It's just knowing. It's just feeling like to do something. You are one with Him. Seeking for an outside voice, if you don't know God really well, it's a very dangerous thing, because you will get voices. You will get voices. And I don't want to freak you out, but I know people who wanted to find the leading of God, and they found voices because they wanted to hear voices, and it is surely not the voice of God. You can long for an accurate leading of God, but it surely starts with the flow. And it's not a thing you will get to, but it's in you, and you're already in. And I know the Holy Spirit will convince you about that right now. No matter how outside you feel from His will, you are in it. And just relax and believe you are in it. And just act like you believe. Act you believe you are in it. And actually then you are in it. It's that simple. If it wasn't that simple, these guys back then in the acts couldn't do it. But they could. How much more we should do it? We know so much. We know so much of God. They hadn't known. Still they walk more in His leading. It's time for us to give up ourselves and say, you can take me away. You can just make me be on that place. God bless you guys, and may you, the presence of Holy Spirit touch you in a way that it convinces you of this truth. May you become so aware of His presence and acceptance and love and His goodness following you, yet that you just dare to welcome. You are in His presence. Let heaven fall on you every minute of your life. God bless you.